Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know what it is. Your boy Wildcard Mar back in the building. Another episode of I.O.W. Sports Show. Hey, man, everybody's happy. Football is back. And what we do every year, we like to preview as many teams as we can. We're going to try to get all 32 teams. As you see in the background, I got some NFC East teams. You're just going to have to tune in and find out which team we're going to preview. And I got a special guest. Hey, let's not waste no more time. Let's get to it. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Wildcard Mar in the building. I.O.W. Sports Network. Welcome to the sports show. And hey, I'm excited because football is back. No more Olympics. We ain't giving a damn about baseball. Ain't no basketball. It's all about the king of the sports world. King of the sports and entertainment world, should I say. Whatever. I don't care how you want to say it. It don't matter. NFL is back. And we're going to try to preview all 32 teams right here on I.O.W. Sports. And I'm just going to tell you what it is. We're going to talk New York Giants football today, baby. Talk about how the New York Giants going to look, what they could possibly do in the NFC East. But I'm not going to be in alone. No stranger to the show. He's been on this show plenty of times. He's a key component to the I.O.W. Sports page on Facebook. Hey, on over there, Facebook, I.O.W. Sports Network, a key component to that, a moderator there. Hey, if I'm talking New York Giants football, you know, I could talk to Jersey Boy MJ, but he's part of I.O.W. Sports crew. I got to bring my man, the Panther on acid. The cream always rises to the top. Randy Savage himself. Randy, what's up, man?
Oh, yeah. Thanks for having me.
Always a pleasure. Hey, if there's anything you want to plug away, my brother. Go ahead.
I'm gonna plug my audio recording business. Mix, master, record, make beats. You need any music made, I got you. Find me Panther on Acid Productions on Instagram.
Yes, sir. You heard the man. Not only is he good at audio, but the man knows his New York Giants football. So let's get to it. All right, man. So no Saquon. You keep Daniel Jones. You don't draft a quarterback. You get Malik Neighbors. I just got to gauge on a scale of 1 to 10. How confident are you in your New York Giants going into this 2024 season?
I think we will be better than we were last year. Mm-hmm. Even though we don't have Saquon, I do expect Malik Neighbors to be a game changer. I don't think the offense is going to be great. I'm not delusional. I don't think Daniel Jones is the guy. I think our O-line will be better, especially if they don't put Evan Neal in. I think it'll be better than it was. But if we're relying on a rookie to be our best player on the entire offense, that's not a great strategy. That's not a great key to success. But our defense, I think, will be really good. If you watched the preseason game, the Giants versus the Lions, It was basically that for a lot of it. I watched the first half of it, and it was basically mostly our defense is really good, our offense not so much, which is more or less what I expected.
Yeah.
There were some things that were positive about the offense. Tommy Cutlets did have some good plays in there. Eric Gray and Tracy, the two rookie running backs. Well, Eric Gray's not a rookie, but you know what I mean. Looked pretty promising there. So yeah, maybe it'll be better than I think, but I don't expect much out of the offense. And I do expect this to probably be Danny Dimes' last season with us, now that they can get out of that contract.
Ooh. Are you calling that right now? That this is going to be Danny? I'm not going to call him Danny Penny's last year in Big Apple?
I don't see how you could like if he doesn't play well, and I don't see a lot of reason to believe he will play well, especially without Saquon. Yeah, I mean, we're probably going to get a high draft pick again if he doesn't play well. And what's the excuse for not taking a QB at that point? We can get out of the contract. It's not like this past offseason where we were stuck with him for another year. We can get out of it now. So there's not really an excuse not to switch QBs if he doesn't basically get another 2022 season. And I think it's probably unlikely that that's going to happen.
Yeah. Hey, I had to ask because I'm having a hard time finding any Giants fan feeling confident or optimistic in Daniel. I'm just being honest. I'm having a hard time finding a Giants fan on this planet Earth right now that is optimistic that he's going to play well. So, hey, got to ask the tough questions. So with Malik Neighbors, you getting him in the first round. How excited are you? Are you having like a potential game changer of a wide receiver? I like, what's the talk up there? Like, are you guys like geeking out of your mind for Malik right now?
Oh, I think he's going to be great. He's not in the best situation to succeed, so it may be a little hard to gauge his potential. Is I guess one potential concern that I have there. But I do think it shows all the traits you could ask for with a wide receiver coming in. We have a lot of great LSU receivers in the past decade. OBJ for the Giants, and then Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase. Like LSU, high-ranking LSU receivers end up being really good receivers. So True. I expect him to be a really good receiver. True. I'm just not sure how much he's going to individually be able to lift up the Giants' offense, which is kind of what he would have to do.
To follow up with that, are you saying are you kind of alluding that Malik Neighbors will kind of almost be in the same situation as Saquon is, where he's pretty much the offense, and you're like, we're living and dying by Malik, so it's kind of like, but from him being a wide receiver, he's so dependent on his quarterback, and you already stated that you're not confident in that situation. Is that kind of where you kind of getting your thoughts and feelings and opinions on that?
I think there's a good chance of that happening. I do see some potential in some other guys. I think Jalen Hyatt might make a leap. I do, he still has the speed. He still has the deep play threat. I see potential there, especially with Malik Neighbors taking as much attention as he probably is going to end up taking. Yeah. I do see Wan'Dale Robinson as a potential breakout on the offense. PFF had projected that he was going to be a breakout, or that they thought that there was a good chance he'd be a breakout. I definitely agree with that. He had some really nice plays that nobody talks about because it's the Giants last season, and he showed a lot of potential there. Eric Gray, I did think looked nice, although he's not going to be the lead running back. I think him and Devin Singletary might be a surprisingly good running back duo. I do see that our offense is probably still going to be kind of run heavy, because if you look at the preseason game, there were a lot of scramble plays. it almost looked like Drew Lock when he was in there, and then Tommy DeVito, to maybe a lesser extent when he was in there, are kind of playing in the similar schemes that you can expect Daniel Jones to be playing in, where it's a lot of scrambling, a lot of running back plays. But if they do rely a little more on the pass than Daniel Jones typically has succeeded in, I think those players all have the potential to be dark horse contenders, dark horse breakout prospects. Isaiah Hodgins is another one that looked really good in 2022 and then just kind of disappeared in 2023. He could also have some potential there. So, I'm skeptically optimistic, I will say.
I got you. Hey, there's nothing wrong with, still, wanting the best for the offense, but you're being realistic. I mean, look, there's no secret. I think it's live and die with the talent that you got, but at the same time, if your quarterback position is kind of lacking, I wouldn't be surprised if Drew Lock gets some starts. I would not be surprised.
I hope he doesn't, because he looked even worse than Daniel Jones did. He looked horrible for the preseason game that he was in there, and DeVito clearly was an improvement, which is, I think, a sign that maybe until we get a new quarterback, maybe DeVito actually is the one that they should start trying to mold to be the stop-start QB. Because if Daniel Jones plays and he gets injured, we have to eat an insane amount of dead cap. I think it was 51 million or something like that.
Yeah.
So I don't want him in the game. I think they should focus on DeVito for now.
Well, to kind of help my guy Drew Lock, my former Missouri Tiger, I'm only saying that only because he's been in the league. But to your point, Tommy is his second year under Daboll.
Yeah.
So he's going to know more offense than Drew. So I get your point on why he looked better for sure. But either way, whether DeVito or Drew Lock is quarterbacking, that doesn't bode well for Daniel Jones. And that goes back to your original point where, hey man, this going to be your last season, bro. So and I also think that front office is not going to be able to use he was injured part. I don't think they're going to care about that no more. They're going to be like, well, we paid you what we got. I mean, so
he gets injured too often.
Yeah, way too often. And from my calculations, I'm probably going maybe a year and a quarter of a season that he's actually had meaningful football that's been worked to down. So I mean, he's been
he hasn't earned it. He hasn't earned that huge contract that he ended up getting. He hasn't proven that 2022 was anything more than Daboll knowing how to work a scheme with his traits that ended up not translating to long-term success.
Yeah.
And also Saquon Barkley carrying him.
Oh, yeah, can't forget that. So let me ask you this as well. If some of the I guess the image of the Giants with the Hard Knocks off-season show, it kind of had the front office looking as if they were ill-equipped. I guess the best way to say that. Did you think that did you think that series paid off for the Giants? I mean, image-wise, I think they took a hit from that series.
I definitely agree. I think that the way that they handled the Saquon Barkley situation is the part of it that's probably getting the most attention. And I don't think Saquon looked good from it, because there was that interview that Saquon ended up having to backtrack from, where they were having the phone conversation. He claimed he didn't know he was being recorded, and he was like, yeah, totally. If they give me an offer, I'll come back and I'll give you a chance to match it or whatever. And then he doesn't, and then goes with the Eagles. And then there's all the tampering concerns there. So I don't think he looked good. I don't think the office looked good. Yeah. I think that the way that they decided which players they were getting was suspect.
And you're being real
like
generous. You're being real mild.
Yeah, like I was, as much as I like Brian Burns and I think that he is a very good player and I'm happy to have him.
I think you overpaid.
I was very skeptical with how much he was paid, considering how many other positions that we need an upgrade on, and also that it was basically the one set that we needed the least help with, because we already had Dexter Lawrence and Kayvon Thibodeau on the defensive line. Of any of the sets on our team, that was probably the one that needed that money the least. So I was very skeptical about that. And their reasonings for deciding him, kind of just looking at his sack total, is that's a bit sketch to me. We've never had good head office work before. I lived through the nightmare of the Dave Gettleman years, and everyone kind of assumed that Joe Shane was going to be much better because he stepped in, and then we had the 2022 season. But I'm not sure that is the reality, that Joe Shane is significantly better than Gettleman was.
Look, is he better? You sure, folks?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, look at the past draft picks that he got. Look at the Daniel Jones contract. Look at all the stuff with Hard Knocks. Look at the Saquon Barkley deal. I don't think he's doing a great job either. And a lot of people jumped really hard on him because of the 2022 season. And I don't think he was the reason why we got that. I think a lot of people just kind of did like a correlation equals causation thing there.
Yeah. Man, Joe, you got some work to do, but you still not Dave Gettleman. So I'm jury's still out, but so far it's kind of looking a little shaky. I ain't gonna lie. But Dave Gettleman was he was a piece of work. I was living in Carolina his whole tenure when he was with the Panthers. I'm just like, bro, you took a Super Bowl team and what did you do?
You did it twice.
What did you do? So right now, just give me your best effort to rank teams in the NFC East from 4 to 1. 4 obviously being the worst, first being the best. Just give me an educated guess on taking into consideration coaching, general manager moves, acquisitions, trades, draft, encapsulate everything on paper right now. Go ahead and rank the NFC East.
Okay. 4, I think, is going to be the Commanders again.
Ooh.
Although they did have a good draft, they are relying on a lot of both old players and rookies to kind of lift their team up. They were the worst defense in the NFL last year, and I don't think they did enough to not be at least still a very bad defense.
And
Jaden Daniels.
Is that with the acquisition of Dan Quinn, who's been a good defensive coach?
Yeah, yes, that's true. I think they will be better than they were, but I don't think they're going to all of a sudden, without really any stars other than Jonathan Allen. I don't know if they have. I don't know if they've done enough to be like an average defense. I don't think they've worked their way up to average from how bad they were. Their O-line was also really bad last year. They, the amount of sacks that Sam Howell took were insane. I like Austin Eckler. I like Bobby Wagner. So that's the second defensive star, Bobby Wagner. But they're both on the older side now. Jaden Daniels, I think, has a lot of potential, but I was very skeptical for the Commanders specifically to take him, because if your biggest problem is sacks, you don't necessarily want to take a quarterback whose biggest problem is taking sacks. So I, especially considering he's a rookie and he doesn't have a lot of help there aside from Eckler and Terry McLaurin, I don't think he's going to play well his first season. I think he would have done better with a different team. But, with all those things there, with everything that I said there, I still think they're going to be a very bad team, at least this year. Third is Giants. I think with our defense the way it is, we can't be horrible. With a Dexter Lawrence, Kayvon Thibodeau, Brian Burns, Bobby Okereke offense, I don't think we can be awful. I do think that we will we'll be below average, but I think that defense will keep us in some low scoring games that'll get us just enough to be better than the Commanders. And Malik Neighbors. I am really excited for Malik Neighbors, and I think that he could make our offense at least better than it is. Second is the Cowboys. They had probably the best team Dak has ever had, like top to bottom, and they couldn't do shit with it in the playoffs. So they had a pretty bad offseason. They lost a bunch of players, didn't really do much to rebuild and get players in the right spots to replace them. So I think they're going to be worse than they were last year. Their defensive line is still incredible. CeeDee Lamb is still great. They're going to be a good team, but they're going to be worse than they were last year, I think.
Okay.
And also, speaking of the Cowboys, before I go on to the Eagles, so I am going to Albuquerque in 2 days, and we have a layover in Dallas. So I made shirts, and I want to show them onto the show because I am going to parade. I am going to parade these shirts.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, me knowing Randy, I have no idea what he's about to show us, but this is about to be wild.
Yeah, can you see what it says? Do you want me to show you the one on the table?
Yeah, go ahead. Spell it out.
Okay, so I'll show you the one on the table. So the front of it is. Let me flip it around. Okay. Days since last.
Oh, you got a countdown on there.
Yeah, days since last Cowgirls NFC Championship game. I counted the amount of days. 10,441 days and counting. And then on the back.
That's dedication. That is dedication.
Dak crying. Yes.
That's dedication, bro.
Yes. So I'm absolutely gonna get video of me walking around Dallas with that shirt and just kind of see what happens. So I will come back with my findings. We will schedule for me to come back with them.
Oh man. Dallas Fort Worth area. Hey, Randy's a good guy, man. Leave him alone, man. He's just doing it all for fun, man. Like, leave him alone, man.
And okay. So the Eagles are the last team. They're too loaded. You know, it's the same story more or less with them. They had a horrible defense in the last stretch of the season. Jalen Hurts kind of fell apart in the last stretch of the season last year. But and I don't think their O-line is going to be as good, but it's still going to be very, very good. It's still going to be a top 3 O-line. Their defense is still going to be very good. Switching from Hassan Reddick to Bryce Huff is probably at least a lateral move. They had one of the best drafts of any team and really probably fixed their secondary issues with Quinyon Mitchell and the white guy whose name I don't remember right now.
From Iowa. I can't remember his name either.
Yes. It's like Cooper DeJean. Yes.
Yeah, Cooper DeJean. Yeah.
It is. So I think they're both going to be very good, and I think those pieces are going to help a lot. So they're going to be the best team in the NFC East, and I think the biggest reason why is going to be it's not a very competitive division right now. So they almost by default they have to be. But they're still gonna be one of the better rosters, certainly in the NFC. The NFC in general is not very competitive. There are like maybe 3 teams in the NFC that I could possibly see making the Super Bowl. where as opposed to the AFC that has like 5 or 6. Gotcha. So that that helps a lot for them.
Oh yeah. Very top heavy in the AFC. It's going to be kind of similar to last year. It's going to be a gauntlet trying to navigate your way to the Super Bowl at the AFC. All right. So kind of give me in your opinion some of the things you're very high on, some positives about the Giants that could possibly might even make a playoff run or a wild card.
I think and also Shane, in addition to the players on the defensive line, Shane Bowen having been a great run defense coach, with the players that he has access to and with his schemes, I think that defense is going to be a monster defense. I saw PFF ranking like the best versus the worst rosters in the NFL, and they put the Giants at like I think second to last, right above the Broncos, and I think that's ridiculous. I don't think they with that defensive line alone is better than the Patriots or Panthers' entire rosters. So I'm not buying any of that. Cardinals probably too. But I think that's going to be the thing that wins us games is we may not score a lot of points, but we're going to make sure that they don't either. That's the thing that I'm the most hopeful for is that defensive line more than anything else is the thing that's going to this year be the winner for us.
I got you because that makes it it pretty much makes it a one of those drag out all out very physical types of football games where maybe 14 points might win it. So I can dig it, man. Man, as always, Randy, always enjoy talking football with you, especially Giants football. If I know I want to talk Giants football, I know exactly who to go to. Before we leave again, man, let the people know where they can find your audio company at.
You can find it on Instagram, Panther on Acid Productions. Also, I love what you did with the intro since the last time that I've been here. I want to be a floating head. I want to get my head floating all up in that intro. So we can talk about it, we can talk about how to get my head up there.
No doubt, man. Hey, man, we just got to, switch things up, change up some things and, revive I.O.W. Sports. We've been on a hiatus and obviously with football coming back, everybody's excited. And, that's just kind of, I was like, man, let's switch it up. Let's change some things up and definitely get everybody excited about talking football. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure reach out if you need some audio needs to hit Randy up on Panther on Acid on Instagram. As always, y'all can follow myself, AC Wildcard Mar on the Twitter. That's where I be posting all the content that I be doing with all the many various podcasts that I got going on along with I.O.W. Sports Network. And look at the bottom of the screen, all the social media platforms for I.O.W. Sports Network. Hey, man, Randy, I appreciate you, my brother. Make sure always the cream rises to the top, my brother.
Always does, man. Always does.
Hey, until next time, man, on behalf of Randy Savage, I'm Wildcard Mar, I.O.W. Sports Network. Man, we are out of here. Enjoy the rest of your day. Hey, I know you're happy. Football is back, baby.